Kyoto is preparing for another wave of tourists. Alongside the launch of the city's Mind Your Manners initiative, Kyoto has discontinued its well-liked one-day bus pass to deter tourists from utilizing the bus system. Lengthy waiting times and overcrowded public transportation have caused discomfort for the locals. In 2022, approximately 80% of the inhabitants voiced their dissatisfaction with the public transportation and the streets being extremely crowded with the tourists. 3/4 of the population have expressed their worries about the conduct of the tourists, such as littering and consuming food while walking. The increasing influx of international tourists is putting a strain on local infrastructure, and public manners have been labeled as sightseeing pollution. The relationship between Kyoto and the international tourism is intricate. In 2018, the 52 million tourists who visited Kyoto spent 1.3 trillion yen, which is $8.7 billion, contributing to a nearly fifth of the city's nominal GDP. However, this sector has sparked a trend of tourism gentrification, with locals being displaced from the housing market as short-term holiday rentals prove more profitable for landlords. Shops and eateries began to cater more to the tourists than to the locals. In February 2020, Soi Marayama, a veteran member of the Kyoto City Assembly, based his mayoral campaign on the primary message that overtourism was harmful to the historic capital city. Although he did not win the election, his campaign brought attention to the discussion about mass tourism. The COVID-19 pandemic drastically altered the situation. Japan shut its borders to incoming tourists from April 2020 to October 2022, causing the tourism industry to come to a standstill. In the 7 years prior, from 2013, when Tokyo was chosen as the host city for the 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games, the number of international visitors to Japan had more than tripled to nearly 32 million in 2019. The Visit Japan campaign, launched by the Transport Ministry in 2003, along with the introduction of the Basic Law to boost tourism in 2006, solidified tourism as a key component of Japan's economic growth. The Japan Tourism Agency was established in 2008. The political aspect of tourism can become prominent. For instance, when visa rules for affluent Chinese individual travelers were relaxed in 2009, or when international promotion of trips to the Tohoku region was undertaken to aid in the economic recovery following the 2011 Great Northeast Japan earthquake. In 2019, the expenditure of inbound tourists amounted to 4.8 trillion yen, which is $32 billion, surpassing the 4 trillion yen, which is $26.8 million earned from the export of the semiconductors. The closure of Japan's border during the pandemic caused a shift in the tourism industry, from being an economic powerhouse to requiring a stimulus package, particularly the Go to Travel campaign. This campaign was devised to stimulate domestic travel and prevent hotel bankruptcies. Tourist attractions continue to feel the impact of the absence of international visitors. Half of the residents of Kyoto reported a significant decline in the city's economic condition during the COVID-19 pandemic and expressed hope for a recovery of tourism to pre-pandemic levels. In September 2023, the number of inbound tourists reached 2.2 million, which is 96% of the pre-pandemic figures. The recent fall in the value of the Japanese yen against the US dollar, euro, and other currencies have facilitated this rapid recovery. In the second quarter of 2023, the total expenditure of the inbound tourists amounted to 1.23 trillion yen, which is $8.2 billion, almost equal to the spending in the same period in 2019. The average spending per inbound tourist is now at 200,000 yen, which is $1,338, achieving the policy goal set for 2025. It states that Japan aims to attract more affluent tourists to increase the overall spending level of visitors. Travelers from the United Kingdom, China, and Australia are the top spenders. In 2023, Chinese tourists were noticeably absent from Japan during the Chinese October holiday season, despite the Chinese government lifting the ban on outbound group tourism in August. A significant number of Okinawans are skeptical about the political resurgence of mass tourism. They have voiced their concerns about tourists disrespecting sacred sites, with such incidents on the rise, particularly in the Kudaka Island. Keiichiro Nakamura, a local travel agency owner, took the initiative to create a website that educates tourists on appropriate conduct while visiting the island. In a recent discussion with the authors, Nakamura emphasized that the well-being of the local population is an essential prerequisite for the successful growth of the tourism industry. Japan is expected to continue being a favorite destination for tourists. The urban areas of Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto attract 2/3 of international visitors, creating a noticeable disparity between urban and rural regions. Instead of widespread overtourism, Japan is grappling with the overconcentration of tourists in specific areas. The tourism industry needs to recognize these challenges and evolve into a more inclusive sector that strikes a balance between economic profit and societal acceptance. Subscribe to Sprl for more educational videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.